Yo, what's poppin' everyone? This is Kay and you're watching Gains on Camera. Welcome back. It's been a while. The reason it's been a while is because I've been working out in the gym now because gyms are open. So yeah, I mean, that's great, and that's something I look forward to for a very long time, obviously. But the problem with working out in the gym and recording videos is that it gets pretty packed in there, so it gets pretty noisy as well, right? And also they play a lot of music, so it's just not a great environment to be recording videos. So I've been trying to figure out how to create content in the gym, and pretty much the best thing I've come up with so far is just to sort of record me talking about what exactly it is I'm doing in the gym at home. That way you guys can get quality output in terms of audio and see what I'm doing in the gym. So let's get to it. That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about, which is getting back in the gym. I want to talk about building muscle in the gym and gaining strength back in the gym. So in terms of that, I've got both good news and bad news for you guys. So the good news is if you're actually going to the gym and going hard and doing what you need to be doing and not socializing, you're gonna build muscle pretty quickly. You're gonna build it very rapidly compared to when you first started working out. You know, like the first time you worked out ever in your life, you're gonna build muscle very much faster than that. And that's because of muscle memory, which is basically just a fancy way of saying your muscles remember all the stuff that you used to do in the gym before you stopped, and they're gonna adapt to that pretty quickly by growing. The bad news is if you've been out of the gym for a long time, you're just not gonna have the strength you had before. You're not gonna be able to lift the same weights that you did before. You know those kids that pull up to the gym with their parents and they can barely lift anything? Yeah, that's you. Get used to it. You can change that though, but you have to be patient and allow your strength to come back gradually. Personally, I haven't really taken a break per se because if you've seen any of my previous videos, I've been working out at home and I've been going pretty hard. I'm sure you'll agree. But when I went to the gym last week for the first time, I still struggled to lift the weights that I used to lift before. And I was stuck between my pride and a dumbbell I couldn't lift. So I just had to do the right thing and reduce the weight. And you guys have to be doing that too if you're getting back to the gym for the first time. So I want to give you guys a few tips to keep in mind if you are going back to the gym after taking a long break from the gym. First tip is you want to increase your recovery time. You want to increase your rest time and the amount of time you take off of working out, right? If you used to lift weights 7 days a week, you can't do that when you're just getting back into it because your muscles aren't used to that kind of work anymore. So they're going to sustain a lot of damage when you work them out for the first time in a long time, right? So you need to increase your recovery time to help repair those muscles because you shouldn't be working out with muscles that aren't fully recovered. You're just not making the progress that you think you're making and you're doing more harm than good. So what you want to do is you want to add maybe 2-3 rest days within the week that you're working out so that you can adequately recover. You don't want to be doing muscle groups like 3 times a week. Lower that to 2 and ideally even 1 time a week, and you're going to get sufficient recovery. You need to make sure you're getting enough sleep, which is very underrated, especially in this day and age when everybody wants to seem like they're working a lot. Get enough sleep. Get at least 7 hours of sleep. That's really good for you and it'll help you recover. And it's going to accelerate you actually gaining your strength back because strength also comes from well-recovered muscles that are ready to lift heavy weights. If your muscles aren't fully recovered, you're just not going to have optimal strength for whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure you increase your recovery time so that your muscles have enough time to recover. You can regain your strength back and you can start making these gains again. Second tip, it's time to go to that section of the dumbbell rack that you actively avoid like an infectious disease. Yeah, it's time to lift lighter weights. So obviously, like I said, you're not going to have the same strength you had before you took a break. So why not focus on your form? Lift lighter weights and get your form right. Because if you're trying to lift the same heavy weights you were lifting before, you're probably not doing it right. You probably don't have good form. Take for instance, if you're lifting 3 plates for squats and at rep 8, your muscles used to fail. That was obviously your optimal strength for those squats at the time, right? Especially if your muscles would fail at rep 8. Do you think you're gonna do 8 reps with good form now that you're back from a long break? Nah, you're not, obviously. So you need to actually humble yourself and just lift lighter weights so that you get your form right. And eventually you're gonna gradually build up this strength. And be optimistic. I mean, I don't mean to be corny and shit. I don't see not being able to lift the same weights as a failure. I see it more of a newfound adventure, right? I can start making progress again because progress is something that I'm always looking forward to in whatever it is I do. If I'm working out, I need to see progress over time. And if I could see that progress the first time I get back to the gym at an exponential rate, because it is, I'm very excited about that, you know? So yeah, like I've lowered my weights. I no longer lift the same weights that I used to lift. I was able to do 6 to 8 reps with 3 plates on each side for squats before the gyms closed down. And now I can comfortably do 8 reps with only 2 plates on each side. It's a journey you're gonna have to re-embark on in order to get back to the place that you were in before. You gotta embrace the grind. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna love the difficult parts just as much or even more than you love the easy parts. So my third and final tip is make sure you have your diet right, because you're not doing shit if you don't have your diet right. A lot of people are gonna neglect their diet just because they're back in the gym and they think that that's all the progress they need to be making. But you're just fighting against yourself if you're not getting your diet right. So if you're cutting, make sure you're in a caloric deficit, you're getting your fats in, your carbs in, and your protein in. Well, depending on what diet it is you're doing. I know some people are doing keto diets where that's kind of different. But yeah, make sure you get adequate nutrition and make sure you're in a caloric deficit so that you could actually burn fat. And if you're bulking, don't go too crazy and eat a bunch of different shit just because you want to gain that muscle back, right? I know it's tempting to just eat a lot and, you know, go as hard as you possibly can in the gym, but a lot of people end up not taking note of what it is they're actually taking in, and they end up gaining a lot of fat. So don't think just because you're back in the gym that you're gonna gain lean muscle just from eating whatever it is you want. Be responsible in your diet, be in a caloric surplus, but make it about 20 to 25% of your daily maintenance calories. So yeah, that's all my advice for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe as usual. And thank you for watching another episode of Gains on Camera. Have a good one.